look at the relationship between the United Nations and the World Economic Forum, the WEFers, right? The so-called public-private partnership. It was the United Nations responsible for the passing of what's called the Environmental Modification Treaty of 1977, 1978, the same year that the movie Star Wars came out, the first Star Wars, 1977. And the ENMOD, the Environmental Modification Treaty, forbade the use of geoengineering for military purposes, but left open a very large loophole. If we're going to modify the weather and the climate for peaceable purposes, for the good of humans, the benefit of planet Earth, like, let's say, in the face of, catastrophic climate change caused by human greenhouse gas emissions, then geoengineering is just fine, according to this treaty in 1977, passed by the United Nations and with all of the national signatories on it. So then the United Nations partnered with the World Economic Forum, and we might call this, Polly, a globalist transhumanist endeavor. I think maybe that's a nice little three-word phrase to capture all of the players under a single umbrella. This is a globalist transhuman project, geoengineering. Very similar, as Paul says, to that COVID-topian moment of 6 years we all had to live through.
Yeah, I kind of thinking there's a depopulation agenda going on big time here with everything that we're hearing at Ph.D.
Well, and again, Catherine Austin Fitts, I think, is very, very clear about this. Look, if you've got bills to pay and a growing exponential mountain of debt and expectations from the populace of playing golf and having a lot of money to spend in their retirement, well, you have a couple of options. You can go bankrupt, or you can reduce the number of people who really are going to be around for that.
Yeah, and I mean, to build on that too, Catherine Austin Fitts, she's talked a lot about like this control grid surveillance apparatus, which seems to be it's being developed in so many ways. And she talked a lot about like financing, and when I was at the conference in Texas, by the way, shout out to Ph.D. Moment of Truth, incredible time. I had an absolute blast there, and it was great to meet you there, Polly, by the way. But she was talking about they're building a surveillance grid in a cashless society. And it's kind of, once again, you're talking about who. It's like, it's the same group of people. It's like the PayPal mafia. It's the Peter Thiels of the world. It's the Elon Musks. And, those are just the names, kind of like Augustus Dorico. Those are just the names of the people that I can pull from, right? When you start to dive into this and you're like, who are we talking about? It's really hard to figure out who we're talking about, but you start to see their mark and it shows up everywhere because they are using the same tactics for basically everything. To draw the connection to Dorico, Dorico actually, to get the seed money needed to start his cloud seeding company, Rainmaker, he actually got the money from Peter Thiel Fellowship. He was awarded $200,000 to drop out of college and to go and pursue this vision that he had, or this maybe was given to him. I don't know exactly how he figured out he wanted to do it, but nonetheless, like, you can start to, we can make all those connections, right? Like, everybody keeps talking about Peter Thiel and Palantir, and then you start getting into the Vanguard and BlackRock, and it's like, okay, who is it? Who are we talking about?
Palantir helped fund Rainmaker and Peter Thiel, absolutely. On our resources page at ourgeoengineeringage.org, we have a very short list of selected books that help answer this question, Polly. Shout out to Dane Widgington and Geoengineering Watch for doing a really magnificent job on collecting the patent information and following the money. If people have seen The Dimming, many I'm sure have. Catherine Austin Fitts is in there. Our nuclear geochemist, Dr. J. Marvin Herndon, is in that film. Shout out to Jim Lee for creating a comprehensive weather manipulation timeline in the work that he does. Shout out to Alana Freeland, who's written 4 really well-researched books about the history of weather modification, geoengineering, transhumanism, synthetic biology, and really names names and connects dots in terms of historically who the players have been, how they've partnered and worked together. Shout out to Peter Kirby, just published the 2nd edition of his book, which does a very nice job of this too. So again, there's a 100-year history to geoengineering that most Americans simply have no idea exists because of the brilliant leveraging of propaganda and the aggressive pushing of the official UN-sponsored Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, human breathing and cow farts are killing the planet narrative, which is so grotesque, by the way, at so many levels. We need a whole other podcast just to take that apart.